Okay, now we're recording. So, welcome to our team call. We're really excited for this one because we have two guest speakers, Mackenzie and Teresa, and they're going to be talking about how they just really started really inviting, like to a whole new extreme level. And it's all based around a 3-week hustle. So, if you've been with Sweat Nation for I guess 6 to 9 months, we've done a 7-day hustle before where you can earn points and win prizes. But this hustle is unlike anything we've ever done before. And they were so sweet and actually went through the group and kind of even, helped, us figure out how to do it and everything else. And they've just done really awesome. And we have some other people in the group, like Brenda was in it. Amy, she might be on here. She was in it. Eileen was in it. And she's going to jump on at the end. But basically what it was, and we're going to do this in Sweat Nation. So if this is something that sounds like you're interested in, we're going to start at April 10th, and it's 3 weeks. And what we did was all of us made a list of 300 to 500 people that we knew. And it didn't matter if we had, really talked to them in a while, or if, they were just somebody we kind of knew. Anybody that we could think of, memory joggers were broken out. We put them on a list of 300 to 500 people. And within that first week, they contacted every single person on their list about coaching. They invited them to coach. No excuses, just getting out of the way of that fear and just click and go. And they're going to talk about it. But I wanted to let you know that we are going to do one April 10th. And if you were part of our internship group, or if you have been in the past couple of months, I know we do our tracker. And one of the things that always is low is people inviting to a challenge group or inviting to coach and adding people to your network. And that was why this hustle was so important to us. And they'll share their experience. But if you are struggling with inviting and talking to people and adding to your network, nothing else is going to grow. And I mentioned it in our internship group like today when we wrapped up, about how, you kind of look at your tracker and see what your income should be. Like if you look at your tracker or whatever you do, maybe Asana or Teamsy, or maybe it's a mental thing, look back and see what you did last week and then say, all right, well, if I was my boss, would I fire me? Like if I looked at my tracker, is this looking like my actual to-do list for my job? And if you aren't hitting everything on your tracker, your boss would fire you. Like it doesn't matter if you're sick or your kid's sick or, time's getting away from you, your boss wouldn't care. So you have to do that for yourself for this business, because a boss is going to work the hardest. They're going to go that extra mile. They aren't even going to be that employee. So if you're not working it like an employee, you're not working it like a boss, and you're not going to make that boss CEO income. So think about it like that. Another way is to think about, hey, based on my tracker last week, am I going to make $250? Like, did I have that value behind it? Would I make $1,000 based on everything I did? So really think about that when you're looking at your tracker. And part of it comes down to adding to your network and inviting. So I hope you'll learn a lot from Teresa and Mackenzie today. And we're going to start April 10th. So if you are interested, we'll have a sign-up sheet on Sweat Nation. You can leave a comment, and then you can send us your list of 500 at the end. And you can send it to us like by that Friday before. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Teresa and Mackenzie. And I noticed Mom mentioned something, 10 new coaches from this hustle. Oh, we had 10 new coaches from the 3-week hustle. 10. And this group was like small. Like there was only a few of us doing it because we had to test it out. We were a little nervous, and we knew they were hardcore, so they would try it out for us. So I'm going to turn it over to Teresa and Mackenzie. They totally rocked this group. They led it. They were inspiring others. They were coming up with scripts and everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to y'all.
Okay. Just tell me who's going first.
You go ahead, Teresa.
Okay. Well, all right. Hi, Mackenzie.
Hey.
Let me introduce myself. I am Teresa Donahue, and I've been a coach about 16 months. And so I just want to share a few things I've learned along the way, and this group, the 3-week hustle, really brought it to the surface. So I wrote down 7 points about things that can help with being able to get out of that fear and invite. So one thing I said, because I'm not sure who's on this call, if we have brand new coaches or how people are, where they are along the way. Do you hear an echo?
A little, not bad.
Why?
I don't know. I'll mute me. Maybe it's picking up like we're not muted.
Okay. Well, for point number one, I said be yourself. So in the beginning, we often feel like we don't have a story to tell because we don't have that rags to riches, or we don't have something, you don't have a history. So it's really scary because you're not sure how to speak from authenticity because you don't know where to go with it. So I wrote down the biggest thing you can do, and one of the biggest things I tell when my coaches come on is the greatest thing you can do is be yourself. So you don't have to pretend. You don't have to dig any deeper than you can. You just say, hey, start sharing that, I'm on this new journey. I am not sure where it's going to go. I'm taking charge of my health, and I'm so excited to be able to inspire people. And I would just love for you to join that journey with me. And then you start noticing the people that are posting about fitness, or they're showing their workout, or they're showing like they put a meal on there. So that you can say, hey, I see that you love to eat clean too, or you like to work out too. So I'm just starting this, and I know you love, or you see people with inspiring posts. That's a great thing. So really notice that people with inspiring posts. So just say, just reach out to them. But all you can do is be yourself, because that's what that builds trust. Authenticity and honesty builds trust, and that's what we're doing. This is a relationship business, so we have to go that way. Point two, as I said, change your mindset from I'm bothering people to I'm reaching out. So often we feel like when we invite people, we're bothering them, we're offending them, we're like going to upset them, and we feel like it's about sales, and that's hard. Nobody likes to feel that way because that doesn't feel authentic. So true story here, my newest coach, and hopefully she's was going to try to be on the call. She was, I saw her post, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago or so, about a transformation. She showed a before and after. She wrote about, she just knew on this, and this is how much weight she had lost, and she was so excited. So anytime we see that, we know that somebody's been going through a struggle, and it's a big deal. So I commented on her post and said, way to go, it's really obvious your hard work, and so on. And then I would see a couple times her stuff come through the news feed. And then I thought, well, I'm going to go back and ask her, because she's really talking about inspiring other people with this. So I said, hey, you know what? I noticed that you really are. I noticed the change that you're making, and that you really like to inspire people. And that's actually what I do as a coach. Have you ever thought about being a coach? So just that question, and we've all heard that, have you ever thought about being a coach, actually turns out to be, it's non-confrontational, and it's just really totally benign. And it also sparks up conversation, because they're either going to say yes because they've met a coach before, or they're going to say no. So then you just that's where you start the questioning. But beyond that, let me use my card. So long story short, we were doing the sneak peek. I invited her to the sneak peek. She messaged me back and said, I read all through it. How can I start? So then I always call people that are looking at, that are going to sign up to be on my team. I know that I won't be able to do that always in the future, like call them and I walk them through the sign up process. But somehow it always ends up, there's some glitch or something goes wrong. So I just would rather talk to people. And these are people, I'm in New Mexico. She was in Kentucky. I call her up. I want to have that personal contact, because I feel honored that somebody's is going to trust me and be on their team. So one of the things she told me, which is so important, was she said, I've been following a coach for a year on Facebook. And she said, you're the first person that reached out to me. That's the change your mindset. It's not bothering. She said, reached out to me. So if we think in terms of that, it changes how we look at it. Like we really are helping someone. We're not just, bothering them. So I love that. I mean, that has totally changed the mindset. Okay, so I wrote down, don't let rejection scare you away. So, rejection is hard. It's painful. It can, it's emotional. And for some people, it goes deeper than other people. It can be paralyzing. But we have to take the emotion out of it, because it is not about us. When somebody says no, we know pretty much the top reasons are going to be they're too busy, that they feel like they're working on their own health and fitness, that they really don't know how they're going to help somebody else. They feel like that they have family stuff. And a lot of times people are too busy and it's not the right time. So timing is going to be so important. So we can address all those reasons, but my main point here is 99.9% of the time, it is not about us. It is not that they're rejecting us. People are in their own heads about life. They are not thinking about that. They just can't see it in their lives right now. So we add some value, we add some content to that. And if somebody says no, I have found, if you keep that relationship going, you can go back to the people. And the 3 weeks hustle, a lot was going back to people that I had talked to in the past. And that is so important. So stay in touch with those people. Just a few more things. I said, rock your free group. Now, we talk a lot about challenge group, the 21-day challenge group, and that is true. We can meet coaches in there. But I'm telling you, free groups are where it starts, because that's where you started that relationship and then you invited a challenge group. So I try to make my challenge groups, my 5-day groups, like really rich. And it really is touching, because people will say, like today I'm starting one. The first day, people start posting what their goals are. And they are very emotional. We have people that they just need somebody to help them for 5 days only to get on track. So build that relationship with your 5-day people, and then they'll continue with you. And then, talking about coaching, instead of we do put longer posts on for our sneak peek. That seems appropriate at that time. But we don't have to always write the whole story out. So keep it simple. And I kind of talked about this last time. Just something simple to the point, like ever since I became a coach, once a week, just so people know that we do this. And so you can say things like, ever since I become a coach, my fitness level has been upgraded like 10% because I get so much support and accountability. Or I've met so many positive people. Or I've learned so much about myself because personal development is so huge in my life right now. Or I learned to push past my greatest fears. But just change it up every week and it'll come to you. Write it down and say, this is what I'm going to write on. This is what I'm going to say this week, ever since I've become a coach. And then just last thing is, when you sign up as a coach from day one, think like a leader, because coach equals leader. So you can't take the two and separate them. There's no way that this business grows without being a leader. So if you start getting the mindset at any point that I am a leader, and even though you can't picture what your team is going to look like, you know it's going to happen. So how are you going to do that? So even start thinking of what would I name my team, and thinking about how am I want to create a team page and, do a Zoom call. I've had twice where none of my coaches showed up on my call. And you know what? I just recorded it, and it's just to use it for later use. So, I couldn't have just walked away from nobody likes me. It's not about that. You just plan for your team like it's growing. So just a few things. We know that personal development is non-negotiable. When I talk about rejection and it goes deep, there is nothing that's going to pull you out of that. If you, anything like personal development, that's what's going to do it. Otherwise you're going to stay stuck in the rejection. You're not going to go any farther. And then in the beginning, I messaged Kim and Kaylee at different times, probably 2 times. Can you just tell me, is there this magic thing? What am I missing here? And be like, no, you just got to be consistent. It's the truth. Even when you feel like everything's crumbling apart, and there's many, many times that happens, it's going to happen. You got to expect it. If you just know that you're consistent and you're not the one that's going to give up, it's going to happen. You just keep asking, and you do become more confident in how you talk about coaching. It does change over time, because then you just talk about what you love about it. So that's it. I hope that helped.
Thanks, Teresa. I agree with so much of what you said. And I want to start also by just giving a little bit about, where I started from, because I've actually been a coach since 2013. And I've done nothing with my business until really the past few months, and really within the past few weeks. And I'll say that largely the reason for that is because I've been living in fear and operating out of fear, and I keep giving into fear of judgment, fear of rejection. And honestly, it was great because my stepmom came up to visit for Easter, and she asked me point blank, Mackenzie, what the heck are you afraid of with this? And there's a real fear of success, because with success is going to come this dramatic change. If what I want to achieve with this actually happens, then the security of having a job is going to be taken away from me. I'm accountable to myself. I'm my own boss. There's no HR department or operations manual for me to go look at someone else's rules and see how I play by their rules. It's on me. And then there's a fear of, can I keep up with it? So that's where I've been mentally for the last 3 years. And, in the past few months, doing personal development and making a commitment to spending time in personal development every day, whether it's listening to something or reading, and I usually do a little bit of both. That's been a huge mindset changer for me. But then I feel like what was the biggest change was when Kim and Kaylee messaged me and told me about this hustle group. And, there was this challenge of you have to put together a list of 300 to 500 people. And it's like, holy crap, how do I do that? I can't even remember where my list of 100 is because I wasn't organized when I got started. But once you decide that you're going to take on this challenge and you start writing out your 300 people using a memory jogger, something happens within you where you've made the commitment that you're going to do this. You're already, taken 10 steps into this. And it really, there's maybe a sense of doubt in the beginning when you're putting that list together. 'Cause it's like, I don't know these people. I didn't do a good job with keeping in touch with them. So it's really not going to be genuine when I get back in touch with them. But, once you get that list together, then there's a dedication to, okay, I'm going to do this. There's determination. You're going to get through this list. And best of all, for me, it gave me direction of where to start because, with some of the memory joggers, it breaks it into categories of how do you know these people? And it helped me to put it into a spreadsheet and just, here are all the college people, here's family, here are all the moms. And where I started from there is there's a book out there, and you can even catch it on YouTube, like a little 5-minute video called Eat That Frog. And for me, one of my biggest fears, I started out as a personal trainer. I was actually the supervisor for the personal training department in a women's health facility when I signed up to coach. And I kept coaching in my back pocket because there was a legitimate fear that I would lose my job if someone found out that I was a coach. So for me, the big frog in this challenge was reaching out to any of those personal trainers who I know are not satisfied where they are. So I would recommend, if anyone relates to what I'm saying, don't start necessarily with the easy people, because then you're just going to keep building up the anticipation of all these other people that you're too scared to talk to. Just come up with, go find a script if that makes it easier. That's what I did. I found one of the scripts, I tweaked it a little bit, and I sent it to my personal trainers. And once I did that, I was like, holy cow, it's really not that hard, because in all honesty, these are also people who are just on the other side of a computer. If they reject you, your life isn't going to end. They're not going to jump through the screen and, punch you in the face or say you're the worst person ever. And more often than not, you'll be surprised how willing they are to look at something. And a lot of these people are also extremely flattered that you think of them. And then the next thing that I did was I really thought about who my ideal client is and who I want to work with. And for me, my mission, who I identify with, those are young professional women and new moms. So I put together a script, and the next group of people that I targeted, because I knew I could get their support right away, was my family. I sent out a big, massive email to my family and then some private messages to others. And some of them might have also been strategic because there are some young moms that are underemployed in my family. But I told them basically, hey, I have a really big goal this year. I registered to go to a live event for my coaching business, and I want to be able to pay for my way there comfortably. And even more so, I want to be able to leave my job, which is keeping me so stressed out. And in order for me to do that, I would love your support. This is what I'm trying to do. And I sent them my mission, who I want to work with. And I just asked them, if you know anyone, can you please pass along my like page or pass along my contact information, or even maybe get me in touch with them. And then next I went on to the moms. And with the moms, this is the group that I felt the most proud about was, I just told them, I was like, listen, I love how much you share about your family and what you're doing with your family. And I really admire that, and always start with a compliment. And I'm really looking to help make an impact on the health of our families. And I would love to either partner with you, and I'm not sure if this is up your alley, or if you know someone else who wants to lead by example in their family's health. And it was amazing how many moms came back and said, yeah, I'm really flattered if you thought of me. I'll check it out. I ended up getting 2 new coaches.
You just hear that and he's like,
whoop. I ended up getting 2 new coaches. And the great thing about this also is once you get going, one of my new coaches wasn't even on my list of 300, but you just become more aware of the people that are out there and opportunities to talk to people. And something like Teresa said, you become more confident in how you talk about it. Because also, if I was out in public and someone asked me what I was doing, I would say, oh, well, I'm a contractor for this job out in Baltimore, and I do Beachbody on the side. No one wants to talk to me any further about that because there's no confidence in it. So doing this hustle group definitely built up confidence. And I started reaching out to people who weren't even on my list because I felt even more excited about, holy cow, that person, they're already coaching and they're not even a coach. I mean, it would be wrong of me not to share this with them. And then something that Kim, I think you made a reference to waitressing and coffee at one point, like emotionally detaching yourself from the invitation. And that really stuck with me because I remember when I was a waitress, I'm a coffee fiend. So if I offered someone or told someone, this is by far my favorite coffee, you're going to love it, you should try it. If they said, no, it's no skin off my back. It should be the same with coaching invitation or an invitation to a challenge group or an invitation to a program. So that really stuck with me, and it's helped me a lot. So on top of getting 2 new coaches, I did get a stellar, awesome client who I talk to daily, and she's rocking our challenge group right now. And she's going to be a client that continues on monthly. So hopefully another coach down the pipeline. But, I strongly encourage anyone who is even on the fence a little bit to get plugged into this hustle challenge coming up in April. I think that's it. I kind of rambled.
Both of y'all did awesome.
I thought it was awesome. I think it's a Sarah Robbins quote that we quoted on the copy, wasn't it, Kaylee?
Yeah, but it's out of like be a network marketing rock star or something.
Yes.
Book.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all did awesome.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for sharing and really breaking it down. I think like knowing that it's scary and that's okay, and like knowing that your confidence got up is huge.
I just have to say, like, this whole group, and we just listed a couple, it was a small group, but everybody in that group, it could have been really easy to say, yeah, I'll get my 300 to 500 people together and then just blow us off.
Yeah.
These ladies committed. So like, if you want to do the hustle in April, you have to have that same kind of determination, because it's going to take determination. You can ask the girls to come up with 300 to 500 people, and then to have the nerve to contact them all. This group was amazing. I want like everybody in Sweat Nation who's ready to jump on it to do it, because it was just amazing. It was a good team effort.
Yeah. And everybody kind of grew together. And I think seeing other people in there was really cool, because some people were like, oh, I didn't know that she struggled with this. Mm-hmm. And I think it took away some of that like comparison and all the overthinking mess.
I think people assumed, like, because I'll just say Teresa. I think Teresa and Sarah Kennedy were both diamonds in the group. Mm-hmm. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But I think just knowing that we had diamonds in the group who were still out there networking or having problems, that helped like the other people in the group go, well, one, we're in really good company, but two, it's cool to know that y'all have the same issues that we have, and that you can help us and we can help you too. So
That was neat.
it was a very neat effort, guys. I was very proud of that hustle group.
And we're not finished even. So we've had 10 new coaches come out of it, and we're not even finished. This is our last week in it. So we're only 2 weeks in.
10
Anybody else like from our original hustle want to share about it? I see a few of y'all's lovely faces. So
Let's see.
right off the top, I see 2, but I won't call y'all out. So if you don't want to share, you don't have to.
I was fixing to go call them out, Kaylee.
All right, I'll share.
Okay.
Before we call you out.
Well, the main thing that I got out of it is, I was super fearful I didn't want to bug people, or I didn't think that they would think it's like a legit thing. And then I think, oh, they're not going to want to. I just had I really thought what I learned was, and I don't know, Kim or Kaylee said it or somebody did, but to not, that's why I'm not speaking, to not predict whether they would do it or not, to not predict whether I think they would be a good fit or not. And I just asked everybody, and there was like some 70-year-old people, okay, they're probably not gonna, but then I could ask if, I still didn't even ask if they, just for a referral, I asked if they were interested or they would know somebody else. I don't know if it would interest you or not, but whatever. So I didn't exclude anybody, no matter what I thought their condition may or if it would be a good fit or not. And it was kind of cool because some of the people that replied were not people that, if I had used my own thoughts, I may not have ever really considered. So that was cool. And then the other thing is, and actually what got me kind of fired up was a couple weeks or months ago when Mindy Winder, I think it was on there. And she said something like, no one dies from hearing no. And I'm like, what's my deal? I kind of don't like social media that much anyway, except for this. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, if I don't succeed with this, then I'm going to get off Facebook altogether anyway. So all these friends that I'm worried about, they're going to unfriend me because I send this to them. But if it doesn't work, I'm going to be not friends with any of them anyway. So who cares? And so, and having the scripts, I tweaked them to be more me and more applicable. Like I had a script I used for moms and a script for military people and a script for people who I thought would be good and people who I thought would be more referrals. And I just made them and then copy, paste, and just, busted them out. And I, over the whole 3 weeks, I lost 2 friends. And I don't even know who they were. I don't care anyway. So, and I'm live. And people did. They were thankful that oh, thanks for reaching out. Thanks for thinking of me. It wasn't like, serious, don't bother me with this again. All my fears were totally stupid. And so then I've made this ad on my page, and I got so much response from it. And my confidence in messaging them, it's just I just I'm not even freaking out. Oh God, what do I say? It's just, it's very comfortable and easy now. So if nothing else, that's a very huge benefit. That's all I have.
Thank you for sharing. I know you hadn't just signed up for that. So thank you so much. And it definitely, it totally makes sense about how to say, that was our goal. If nothing else, it was just going to become easier and to actually find that value in yourself. I got this. It doesn't matter. So thank you for sharing.
Yes, it was perfect, Brenda.
Mm-hmm. So I just kind of wanted to run through what you can expect from the group. If it sounds like something that you would want, all of that. So if nothing else, if you're thinking about joining this group, whether you're wanting to hit Emerald or hit Diamond or just get unstuck or just get over that fear, and just click and copy paste and send and get some coaches and get over that. You're going to create so many open doors. You're going to have a list and you're just going to go off of it. So you're going to know exactly what to do every day and all of that. So it's all taken care of. We'll have a little private group. You'll be able to sign up on Sweat Nation. So in the Facebook group, you can tag your team and all of that, but they'll need to comment. Anybody that comments will know like, hey, they want in. But in order to be in, you must send us a list of 300 to 500 people, and we must see it. And it's not so we can go, oh, she put down, Laura, and she'd be a good coach. I'm going to contact her. It's just so we know that you are fully committed to the group, because it's so easy to go, yeah, I'm going to make that on Monday, and I'm going to start on Monday. We want to see your list of 500 the Friday before. So we're going to start. The start date for this hustle group is going to be April 10th. So you would need to get us your list by April 8th, no later than April 8th. You can send it before. It has to be by then. I'll post the memory joggers on our Facebook Sweat Nation page. So you'll have those that the girls mentioned before. So that'll help you come up with your 300 to 500. Everybody can come up with 300 to 500. That's half the battle. It's coming up with your list. And we also want you to read Go for No. It's an hour and a half Audible book that you can read. You might even be able to find it on YouTube. But on Audible, you can try it for free. It's an hour and a half. Just read it. Go for No is the book. It's a requirement. And then once we get into the group, you'll be asked to post daily. And our group this time has been amazing because they haven't just posted like, I've done this. They've been talking, like they've been sharing advice. They've been asking questions. So we really want you to do that for 3 weeks. And the first week is all about inviting people and following up. That's like with people that are replying. Second week is the same thing. So you're going to be inviting people to your sneak peek and inviting people from your list, following up. And then that last week is going to be making sure that we have hit every message and we have followed up at least 3 times. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's the layout of the group. And you can sign up in Sweat Nation Facebook group. So that's my little rundown of the group specifics. Mom, did I miss anything?
No, I saw a question pop up. That's what I was reading. How often will this kind of group be offered? To be really, really honest, because it's something so out of our normal where we want you to really build relationships versus mass message people. So out of the way we train, we had set, this is just going to be one time a year, because this is not how we want our coaches to just make a habit of. But this group was so amazing, guys. They would post like, this is a reply I got. Am I replying okay? So they're really bouncing ideas off each other, really learning from each other. So we loved it so much, we said we would do it one more time this year.
Yeah,
like Haley and I would. Now, after that, y'all can do what you want with your teams. But we will
have been through it, so you'll see kind of how we set it up.
Because of the mass of it, I would not do it all that often.
Right.
That's my opinion.
And we're not really like when she says like we're going all out, like it's because you're sending, like the girls can tell you, you're sending 40, 50, 70 messages a day and having to reply. Like it's a lot of work. So we want to have that hustle for 3 weeks. And then we want to make sure that you're confident and you have this and you have that momentum going and you have that sense of focus, like I have to invite. So you do continue to invite somebody to coach every single week. Like you should have 3 to 5 each week that you're inviting to coach. And same thing with your challenge group. So we still want everybody to continue with that. So this is your hustle, and then it breaks off into just the typical power hour, which some of y'all haven't been doing the inviting. So maybe this will help with that part too.
Yeah, I think that'll help, because when you're inviting 30 to 50 people each night, this whole, when we say that you need to be presenting the business 2 to 3 times per week, that's going to be nothing to y'all. Like some of you have been maybe produced, and I'm not judging, okay? Because that's what the whole hustle is for. Mm-hmm. But some of you maybe present the business twice a month if you're lucky, when it should be 2 or 3 times a week. So this whole hustle is going to get you out and get you confident. And I mean, you're going to get confident after presenting the business 30 to 50 times a night. So
yeah. And you also have a warm market right now, because if you have only presented it once or twice a month, you have a ton of people that you can talk to, and you can include people that have been through the sneak peek, before, and you can just follow up with them again. Like, hey, have you thought any more about coaching? So you can include that. So, is there any other questions about the hustle or anything of that nature?
I just wanted to recommend, like, if anyone's going to jump in and do the hustle, aside from your normal challenge groups, don't do any other training. Like, don't overextend yourself. Like, this should be your full focus, because it's going to be really easy to lose track of the conversations if you are, you know, I know there's so many Star Diamond and 60 days to this and 20 days to that. Just focus on the hustle, and it's gonna be worth it. And then voice record, figure it out, because it's a lifesaver.
Yeah, it'll save so much time.
I wanted to say something about the 300 to 500 people, because I know for some people it could feel like, wow, holy cow, I don't even have that many people to ask. But of course the memory jogger helps, and that's, you know, we do that from the very start when we become a coach. But we're not saying that, you know, everyone's close, you know, they're intimate friends, and you keep contact with all of them. These are going to be a lot of people that you don't know. So that, just to keep that in mind, because that could be scary to people, like, I can't do it because I don't have the people to ask. But, you know, you have people as your Facebook friends, and that list will grow more than you think it will. It will happen more than you think it will. So don't let that hold you back.
Somebody
I
just
seriously had people from middle school that I hadn't talked to in 15 years on my list.
Kaylee's going to answer a question in just a minute, but I want to reiterate, and I'm glad Mackenzie brought it up, because we did tell this last hustle group, don't be doing anything else but this, because it's going to be a chunk. So thanks for bringing that up, Mackenzie.
Mm-hmm. On the question, it was a really good one. Like, so how far into the training do you maybe 13 days in, the internship, the focus group? I would say, Mom, you know, 'cause we didn't talk about this before, but I think anybody can do it, because you have a really good warm market, but they have to have the cojones to be able to do it. Like, if you sign somebody up and they're like, I think I want to do this, but I might just discount coach, then obviously you probably won't want to, like, you know, tag them in it. But if they're like, I'm going to make this a full-time income, and they're still in day 4, I would say you have to jump in on this. Can you get through the 13 days, or do you feel comfortable, you know, starting April 10th? Can you get me a list together? So I think anybody can join, because it's not having to learn something extra. You're literally just asking people about coaching and sharing your story. So I think anybody. Sorry. Do you agree, Mom?